Was last week exciting or what?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't tell you, I had so much fun with Stephen, and I promise each and every one of you that you'll be seeing more of that. We've made a commitment to play in the sandbox every couple of months because we have a good time. It feeds both of us to do that, and apparently you all really appreciate that too. So we talked amidst all the celebration and all the excitement last week. The message I hope that you got from Stephen and I was that this building is not Unity Fort Wayne Spiritual Center. It is an address, and it's a building, and now it is a fabulous, beautiful sanctuary. It resides at 3232 Crescent Avenue. But Unity of Fort Wayne Spiritual Center does not reside there. Unity of Fort Wayne Spiritual Center resides on Blue Mist, resides on South Harrison, on Lillian Avenue, all of those other places. You, wherever you are, Unity of Fort Wayne Spiritual Center is. You, my friends, are the place where God dwells. You are the sanctuary. We talked about how you are the living stones. And so, have you ever seen a building constructed of a single stone? Just one? No, right? How many stones does it take? A lot, right? A lot. So although Unity Fort Wayne Spiritual Center hangs out in various places across the city of Fort Wayne and other places, it does not stand alone. And we, as living stones, don't stand alone. We are a spiritual center. We are a church because of each other. Because of the person sitting on your left, and the person sitting on your right, and the person in front of you, and the person behind you. That's who we are, and that's why we exist. So in my former life, I was a therapist. And so I went to school, and I take lots of psychology classes. And there was a man that we had to know all through my education. His name was Abraham Maslow. He developed something called the hierarchy of needs, and he studied human beings. And what he found was that each and every one of us come here with some pretty basic needs. And that in order to survive, in fact, in order to thrive, we have to have these needs met. Now, the very first thing is food, right? Food and water. We have to take care of our physiological needs, like this little thing that's housing our soul. Can't survive without some basic nutrients to keep it alive. The second thing that's important for us to have in order to survive is some kind of shelter. For those of us that turned on our heat this week, we know how important shelter is. We don't like to be cold, and we don't like to be out in the elements. So shelter is really important. The third basic need that each and every one of us shares is for love and belonging. For love and belonging. So what does it mean to belong? What does it mean? Oh, don't be shy.
Connection.
Connection.
To feel part of something.
To feel a part of.
To be part of something.
To be part of something. So we all have this need to be a part of something. Because when we feel a part of, what else do we feel when we know that we are a part of something?
Love.
Love. What else?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Fulfillment. All of that is a part. Safe, right? That second need on the list, right? To be safe. In order to be safe, we have to hang together, right? We have to be together in order to be safe. So belonging is all about feeling connected, feeling a part of, feeling like we belong and we matter, right? We matter. When you look up the word belong, there are a couple of things that come up. Merriam-Webster says that to belong is an allegiance that you are either born with, that you're either born with or that you attach to. It's an attachment that comes from being born into something, like being born into our families, or because we become aligned with something, an allegiance. And so an allegiance is all about devotion and loyalty. And when you think about what devotion and loyalty are, you come to faithfulness. And if you look at faithfulness, faithfulness is steadfast affection. So that's all about that acceptance piece again. When we belong, we know that we're going to be treated the same way every time. When we belong, we know that, I tell my mom sometimes, she'll say, I love you, Glenda. And I said, that's because you have to. It's because you have to. It's mandatory. You're my mom. Right? And yes, and it's true. And it's true. So the interesting thing about this whole being steadfast in affection, this whole being centered in love, which is part of our vision, is to be centered in love, is that as I thought about it, belonging to me is a lot like being in the universal flow. So in Unity, we talk a lot about universal flow. It may or may not mean anything to anyone. So let me tell you a little bit about flow. So flow is if you are desiring abundance, if you're desiring health in your life, if you're wanting more love in your life, if you're wanting more joy in your life, you can't just receive. You also have to give. The universal flow works in every area of our life all the time, whether we believe it or not. It's about giving and receiving. And when we stop that cycle, when we stop allowing ourselves to receive, we muck up the works. Same thing with giving. When we stop giving, we stop the flow. It's like pinching the hose off is what Abraham Hicks talks about. You pinch the hose off so that you can't receive. So belonging, I believe, works the same way. Belonging is not just about receiving. It's not just about showing up on a Sunday morning, saying hi to a few of your friends and getting all your hugs in for the week, getting some good food in your belly after the service, right? It's not just about what Unity of Fort Wayne Spiritual Center can do for you. That's great. We all like to be places where people like us. We all like to be places where people honor us and respect us and accept us. But it can't stop there. For the blessing of belonging to continue, you, my friends, have to be the living stones that create that belonging. You also have to give. And so what does it look like to give belonging? I know it's kind of an odd concept, right? Like, how can I make somebody feel like they belong? So I want you to think about that for a moment. I want you to think about someone in your life who loves you no matter what. I want you to think about someone in your life who has blessed you in a special way. Like that somebody that made you feel at home. Someone that made you feel at home. Someone that when you were around them, you felt whole and complete. And that inadequate voice in your head was stilled for just a couple of minutes. And you felt okay, just where you were. When you think of those people who have blessed you with a sense of belonging, what were some of their characteristics? What are some things that you would tell me about them?
They listen.
They listened. What else?
They saw some potential.
They saw potential in you. Gary, will you check the thermostat? It's right behind this screen. I don't know about you guys, but I'm cold, and if I'm cold, you have to be cold, because I'm never cold. All right, what else?
Inclusion.
They included you, right? What else?
Accepted.
They accepted you.
Non-judgmental.
They didn't judge you.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Honesty.
Honesty. Some of the people I value most in my life are the ones that will say, honey, you did a great job on Sunday, but I just want to tell you the back of your head looked awful. I prefer to have them tuck in my tags before they start speaking. But we do. We need some honest people in our lives, right? That can, in a loving way, guide and direct us. We all need those people. So all of those characteristics, the listening, the non-judgmental, the being honest, the being caring, the being loving, the seeing the potential, guess what? You can all do that. You can, each and every one of you can be that for someone else. Hebrews 10:24-25 says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another. Encouraging one another. See, we can create a sense of belonging in others by including them. One of the things that I appreciate about Unity Fort Wayne Spiritual Center is I truly believe that we are a welcoming community. I believe that. You guys are always hi, hello, you're always greeting people when they come in and they're with us. But what do we do? And what do we do to help people belong? You know, people will come to this church, especially now that it's a beautiful space. We've created all this lovely energy and everybody's excited to be here. People will come. People will come and they will sit on the edges, and some of you were that way. You sat on the edges at first. Waiting, watching, trying to see whether or not you fit in, belong. Is this where I belong? And many of those people will not return, which saddens me. We've talked a lot about people that have come and gone over just the 4 years I've been here. The people that came a couple of times and then they left. I have a theory about that. I have a theory that we're great at welcoming people, but we have forgotten how to belong. That we've forgotten how to include people. That we have forgotten that just saying hello isn't enough. Belonging, togetherness is about connection. One of the things Susan first said, it's about connecting to one another. That's what creates that sense of belonging. Shared experiences. I got to know Kathy a little bit better because she and I helped her set up for her paint class on Saturday. And then I got to hang out with her on Saturday and paint. And we had a great time. Where's my coworker? Right there she is. We had a great time, right? We had a great time painting. We connected in community together because we had a shared experience. How are we encouraging others to be loving? How are we encouraging other people to do good deeds? How are we gathering together? How are we teaching people, helping people understand that they belong here? I believe that everyone belongs here. That there is not a space that cannot be occupied by another in our space. I truly believe that in unity, all are welcome here, that we have a message that can transform the lives of others. So we have to learn, we have to begin to change our consciousness, we have to begin to think about how we can help other people feel like they belong here. When I first got here, you know, there was a group of people that used to go out to eat after meditation, and they invited me to go out to eat with them. And so every Wednesday night after meditation, I got to hang out with people, and I formed friendships and connections with those people because I spent time with them and I got to know who they were. It's important for us to remember that belonging doesn't happen in the 60 minutes that we're together on a Sunday morning. Belonging happens when we go downstairs and have coffee together. Belonging happens when we stand out here and spend time just checking in with each other, seeing how things are going. Belonging happens when I tell you that Kathy teaches a great art class and you guys should go next time. We have all kinds of fun, right? It's when I invite you to things. It's when I say, you know, maybe you'd really like Yoga Nidra. I'd love to see you on Tuesday night. You know, I'd love to have you in my class on Tuesday afternoons. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are more powerful. One stone is one stone and can only do so much. But a group of stones connected together can build a church, can change lives. I believe can transform the world. Mother Teresa said, if we are not at peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Forgotten. And we do. We belong together as Unity Fort Wayne Spiritual Center. We belong together as one humanity. We belong together because we first belong to Source. There's a song that we've sung before. I'm going to close by sharing that with you. How could anyone ever tell you you are less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to us. So some of you know that. So those of you that know it, I saw Mary Clifford moving her lips, so I know she knows it. Kat knows it. Sing it with me. How could anyone